directly traced to the fact that the people institutionalizing this mindset are usually people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, which when they were growing up, when they were our age, this actually was more or less a reality. But since then the times have changed, the demographics in Europe have changed, demographics worldwide are changing. And so what we face is very much the lack of understanding of older generations, that it's very hard for us to access our rights. And I think one of the main challenges we're seeing is a bit what I always call the philosophical fundament, or the meta level of youth rights, is the right to autonomy. When you look at what is it that differentiates young people from kids or from older people, it's exactly that they are in the phase of life where they are growing up from being children, from having things taken care of for them, to being adult, which are supposed, unfortunately often they are not, which are supposed to be mature and responsible citizens. And so society expects them to actually act like adults, but society doesn't want to give them the rights like adults. And so it's very, very difficult for young people who, if you're 17 or 18, you're already working, you're supposed to pay taxes, but you're not allowed to vote yet, which is a bit, which doesn't exactly make a lot of sense. So I think one of these things that we have to get aware more is that autonomy is not automatic anymore. Education gets longer, education is changing, societies are changing, and also in the political processes young people are heard less and less because societies are getting older and older. Another very important challenge that is not really addressed, and that's actually one where we have a lot in common with older generations, is the question of discrimination based on age. If we're talking about a Europe where youth unemployment is twice as high as average unemployment, you cannot say, well, too bad. You have to say this is discrimination based on age, because that's simply what it is. Because there is no other reason why young people would be unemployed twice as likely as the rest of the population. If you listen to older people, that's what you often hear. If young people are supposed to be so economically potent, so this discrimination based on age is something that you also have to look at as one of the main challenges that goes across almost all of the other human rights that where young people are facing challenges.
Thank you very much. How are the challenges or the main obstacles perceived in an African context from your perspective? You are in the African Union Commission working with for young people on the continental level. So what is your experience with this, Frislam?
Well, I think I'm going to have to borrow Murat's argument because it is indeed the same in Africa. The mindset of the older generation is very much, I mean, I think, like, I don't want to, like, discrimination is a harsh word, but that's in what a sense it is in Africa. I mean, there's a lot, culturally, Africans defer to people who are older, but what the problem is if you deny certain rights to young people, you are in effect denying the rights of the majority, because on the continent, according to UNFPA, 70% of the population is 35 and under, and while that includes children, a large percentage of that is what Africans describe as youth, people 15 to 35 years old, and it's a big issue. I mean, to deny the rights of that many people, especially regarding employment, is gonna it handicaps the future generations, because those people don't get access to gainful employment, whereas the older generations will indeed be phased out, and what you're left with is less qualified individuals in the near future. Another big issue in Africa is that there is, as I said, there is no direct enforcement mechanism for the African Youth Charter. It's whereas people can take their grievances to their local judicial systems only if those member states have ratified the charter, If not, then the youths in the member states who haven't ratified have no avenue of redressment. If there was an effective Pan-African instrument that people could go to, like a court of human rights, then I think that could go a long ways towards young people finding an avenue to get that redressment. Currently, there is an African Court of Justice and Human Rights established by the AU, and its charter was ratified by only 15 member states, so it doesn't have a lot of strength to push governments into compliance. Another problem within the AU member states is that there is a lack of awareness of the African Youth Charter. Not that many young people know that a youth charter exists, that there's a legal framework that establishes what the young people can expect from their governments. In order to spread the awareness, I think, as Murat said, education and dissemination of the charter would go a long ways to do that. The national youth councils, the AU relies primarily on the national youth councils to disseminate the charter within their own countries, but that hasn't been one of their strengths as of yet. But that's not to take away from the youth councils, because they were instrumental in pushing for the ratification of the charter in most member states.
There are some more stories you want to share. Maybe we take a final one. Yasin.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Simon. Well, my name is Yasin, and I'm just going to travel with you to the other side of the Mediterranean, where the Arab Spring started. And all what I want to tell you is the Arab Spring started by youth. And you all witnessed that youth that went to the streets, youth that sacrificed their life. But after, let's say, the regimes, they went down. After the presidents, they were killed or ran away. Youth, they were ignored. Youth, they were not participate. Well, I would say that youth, they did not have part of the cake. Youth, they did not have somebody to represent them at the government level and at the decision making. Mainly because youth, they were divided. There are so much to say, but I'm just getting too emotional. I prefer to stop here. Thank you.
Yasin. I think we all share the awareness and the realization that talking about this is hard, because it comes from personal feeling of the situation, personal experience. And I think while it is hard, it is also something that has incredible potential of power.